Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. I am here to talk about a fantastic episode of The Last of Us, episode 8. This episode was something. It really was. It is an episode that tugs on your heartstrings, but also shows you the love and care and the brutality that one is willing to go through to save the ones they love, be with the ones they love, and do whatever it takes for the ones you love. And in this situation, not only is it about love, it's also about survival because it's really about Ellie in this episode and how she is surviving in this apocalypse on this particular guy here named David. So basically, the episode starts off with David, sort of kind of like at a Bible study. You get the idea that he's this really nice guy trying to teach people the Bible and scriptures and the ways of, even though times are hard, we've got to try to do our best. So you really think he's a good guy. Then it flashes over to Ellie. I mean, she's having a tough time trying to get Joel to wake up and just get back together, and she realizes he is really struggling. So she decides to go out and actually hunt, which she does a really good job. She kills a deer. In the process of killing this deer, that's when she runs into David, and I think the gentleman's name is James. And an Easter egg, which a lot of folks may not know this, which I found out later, that James actually did voice Joel in the original Last of Us in the video game, which is pretty cool. I did not know that until later after I watched the episode. So she meets James and David in the woods after she's already killed this deer. And right there, she's propositioning, like, okay, wait a minute. I shot this deer. They're trying to negotiate with her. She's got the rifle on them. She tells her to put their guns down, which I thought was so dope. But she's trying to negotiate with him because she knows she needs medicine. So David tells James to go to the village, get penicillin. And in the process of him actually going to do that, that's when David is getting Ellie in and like, look, I know who you are. We could help. We could, you don't have to be like this. But Ellie is really smart. She's not having it at all, and I like that. But he's still trying to groom her. He's still trying to get up in there. But anyway, James comes back with the medicine. They realize that Ellie is not alone because he says everything happens for a reason, and I was supposed to find you because you're the one. Well, maybe you're not the one, but you know the one that killed the person that was in our camp, which of course was Joel. But she tries to tell them that he didn't just do it just out the blue. They were literally attacked, but of course they don't understand that. So it's at this particular scene, then it moves forward past that, and she gets back to helping Joel. They go back to their camp. I think they were called let me look here. They were called I don't know, I can't remember, the water rafters or something. I don't know. But anyway, they go back to their camp and they're feeding, which I didn't even know that till later. But at the camp, they're eating food, and he says, you know what, we're going to go back and find the people that killed our guy because we can track them easily. It's not going to be that bad. We'll go to the town and we'll find them. We're not going door to door. So the next morning, that's when Ellie wakes up doing her normal routine, but she hears something and she's like, oh, snap, these dudes are after me, which is so freaking dope because she tries to wake Joel up and like, Joel, you got to get the F up. I don't know how he had the strength to even get up at this part, but I thought that was really dope. So she tries to do her best to steer these guys away. And she does an awesome job. In the middle of her getting away, that's when they shoot the horse and she falls down and hurts herself. And then David winds up capturing her and taking her away. And this is when now the guys that came with David are really looking for Joel and going house to house. And I thought they were going to get this dude because I'm like, there's no way he's getting up. But they get in a house where Joel is at. And Joel, man, this is where you start to see the brutality of the Joel that you heard about all season long, but you never really got to see. Yo, this dude was freaking brutal. Brutal. I mean, he choked the guy out. He just stood up just 5 minutes ago, choke the guys out, kill them, choke this particular guy out, kills him. Then he winds up capturing two other dudes, and he's got them tied up, doing one of the most insane tortures you could ever see. That was cringe. I was cringing just watching that when he stuck the knife in his kneecap and was twisting it. Oh, that was crazy. Then you see how bad Joel is. Even though you don't feel bad that he's doing it, it's almost scary to watch because you're seeing the glimpses of this Joel that they've been talking about that's a bad person. And he winds up killing these guys after he's questioned them that he needs to know exactly where he took Ellie. So now it flashes back to Ellie. And in this particular situation, you realize that Ellie's captured. And now David is trying to groom her to join his cult, clan, whatever it is, because he feels that Ellie is just like him. And the cool thing about it is this is when you start to see the white cloud come down. Like, he's not the guy that you really think he is. This is really a bad dude. He is not good at all. He probably was a criminal, a killer back in the day. Who knows what this guy was, but this guy is not good at all. He's seriously a bad dude. And while Ellie's chained up, she actually realized, she's like, oh snap, what is that on their floor? And she sees a human ear. And that's when she starts questioning him. And it basically comes out that he's been feeding the people of the camp humans this whole time. This dude is a cannibal. He's been killing people only to feed his people. And more than likely, he's killing people that don't want to agree with him or go along with what he wants to do. So he's like, all right, well, you don't want to be a part of this crew. We're going to kill you and feed you to the ones that do. And it is something, yo, just to see him start to be this really bad dude. And he started to try to get Ellie, and Ellie pretends in a moment, which I thought this was so freaking good, where Ellie really pretending that she's down with it, and she starts to get closer. And you see the creep. This dude is freaking creepy. He actually is like, okay, he's trying to groom her, and you see that he's really there. And she grabs him and breaks his freaking finger and was like, yo, I thought that was so dope. And then she finally gives her name, because in his mind, he's like, yeah, I'm going to, basically feed you to everybody. She gives his name. And then she says, tell them that I'm the one that broke your finger. So then they eventually come back to Ellie, and basically they're going to do what they've been doing with everybody else. They're going to chop her up. And that's when she reveals to them, like, I've been bitten, because she bit him when he got really close to the cage. And James actually looks at David and was like, yo, oh my God, you've been bit. So that's when David is like, nah, it's not true. Look at that bite. That's not real. James is like, nah, it really looks freaking real. And in this moment when they're having this exchange, that's when Ellie, and this is when you see Ellie's ultimate test of survival, where she's like, I am not going down without a fight. She takes the freaking meat cleaver and jams it in the side of David's neck. And I was like, oh, snap. That was so good. That was so freaking good. It was really good. Then, let me see what else happens. Oh, then this is the part where it's just simply the battle of Ellie and David. And it's really interesting because at this part, he's a bad dude. And he's strictly coming after Ellie, and it's just Ellie, nobody else. And at this whole time, you're thinking Joel is going to come and save Ellie. I really thought that. I thought she was going to be fighting David all this time. And then at the last minute, Joel was going to jump in and save Ellie. But that doesn't happen. Ellie is fighting for her life from this dude. And even this dude is such a creep. He gets on top of Ellie and he kicks her and punches her. And then he tries to rape her. And Ellie is able to get away by hitting him upside the head. And then as soon as she hits him upside the head when he's trying to rape her, she goes balls out on this dude. And it is, I'm glad they actually didn't show it. I was kind of curious if they were going to actually show it. But when he's on top of her after he's kicked her and tries to rape her, she winds up finding this weapon and hits him upside the head with it. And she goes ape shit on him. I mean, ape shit. She loses it. She blanks out and literally bashes this dude's heads in with everything that she's got for who knows how long. But it was brutal. But that's when you saw like whatever, emotion, power, survival, whatever she had left in her, she brought it all out in that moment. And it was really good to see. And you got to give it up. This actor who's playing David, fantastic job. And Ellie, the actress that's playing Ellie, this is fantastic work. You can see the horror, you can see the pain, you can see the agony, the frustration, the fear. You can see it all when this moment is happening and it comes all out. And then she finally leaves the building and she is done. You can actually see the look on her face, like she is like stunned. It's almost like she's lost herself, like whoever she was, having to actually do this particular killing someone in order to survive. You know, she's lost. And that's when Joel grabs her and she freaks out because she doesn't know who it is. And she's like, no, 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 no. And this is one of the probably the most touching moments of the episode, is that Joel then grabs her and is like, I got you, baby girl. And to hear that, it's been like 20 years. And the last time we remember hearing that was when Joel said that about his daughter. So you now see the transition of Joel. Now Ellie has become a part of his family. He loves Ellie. He's there to protect her. They are really the Last of Us. Them two together, it's all them or nothing now. And to hear that, you could just see it. And when she hugs him and gives him that big hug, he hugs her back. And it is just, it is really moving. It really is. It tugged on my heartstrings. I'm not even gonna lie, I shed a tear. It was pretty moving. And that's pretty much where the episode ends, with him putting a jacket on her and them walking out in the woods together. Absolutely fantastic episode. And I'm so sad to know that we only have one more episode left for this season, because it almost gives me that Game of Thrones vibe where I'm feeling like, man, I really would love to see more episodes of this. And I hate that we may only get 2 episodes, but I really must admit that they've done a fantastic job with the adaptation of this series onto a TV series or this sort of film. And I hope that other people take into consideration on how it should be done, because this is how it should be done. This episode is fantastic. If you haven't watched The Last of Us, watch all the episodes leading up to this, because it really does a fantastic job. And to see Ellie fight for that survival the way that she did against this man here, who was playing himself off like he was a good guy, but he really wasn't. It was absolutely fantastic, and I love this episode. This episode is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It is the penultimate episode of the series, and I don't know how they can really top it, but they've been doing a pretty damn good job this season with The Last of Us. It is just simply fantastic. Anyway, if you guys are watching The Last of Us, I hope you enjoyed that summary and that recap that I have given you on episode 8 of The Last of Us. I'll be giving you another recap next week with the final episode. I am hoping it's just as good, and the word is that they clearly do have a season 2. I cannot wait. I do not know when it's going to come out, but I really cannot wait for season 2. But anyway, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll be back here with another review. Bye.